Hi and welcome to the Girlfriends Lounge. My name is Marcie and today we are here with part 5 of the Junk Journal series featuring the Daisy Journal. So I'm going to start off with doing a couple of things so that I can turn my laminator off because I think it's making a humming noise. And then the other thing I was going to do is the things I need the trimmer for right at the beginning that I know for sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is the laminating pouch, or getting the laminating out of the way. So I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think I have 4 napkins. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 laminating pouches. The first thing I'm going to do is get my napkins done. So I want to peel the backing off of the 4 napkins I have right here. So we'll do this gently. For anything that is kind of repetitive, like I'll show you one time and then go through it again, but then I'll kind of speed up on the areas that are kind of redundant. Okay, so I peeled my napkin and I want to cut this down to fit inside. So let me push those up there. And I want to, this is 11.5, so I want to go like, actually I need to leave a little border there, up there, and so I will cut it at 10 3/4 as best I can. Which more realistically it is at 10.5. I'm leaving a quarter. I save this, and then let me get one of these laminators. I'll put the others to the side. We are slipping and sliding a little too much here. So we have our napkin opens downward. The opening is at the top, which is where I want it. And then we'll open up the pouch. Try to do this in a dust-free environment because this is kind of, I don't know, it's like a static cling situation here. So it will pick up anything that's on your table. You just want to make sure that it doesn't get on the inside. And then I'm going to put this over here towards this corner. And this is the sealed corner. So you have a sealed corner and an open corner. So try to put it in the sealed corner. Make sure everything's clear all around. This pouch, napkin pouch, I saw on Coop's Place Crafts. So I thought I wanted to give credit to her. And then just make sure it's straight. So, okay. So then I'm going to put this through my Scotch laminator, which is making all the humming right now. Put that off to the side. I like to put it in there one way. You always want to do the sealed side first, and then I will flip it over and put it in the back way, and just to kind of make sure I have everything sealed. Okay, so we have this very hot. No, this is the sealed side. Okay, I'm like trying to, that's the part that I cut. So you can use a straight edge or a rotary cutter. I'm just going to cut it with my scissors here. You want to leave a little bit of a gap or a border around the napkin so that you don't cut into it. because if you cut into it and it's the side that's open, you'll lose that pocket. It'll just be 2 sheets of laminated napkin. Okay. So this, you can also use a, which I got a little too close there. You can also use a trimmer, paper trimmer. And then where the opening is, I want to go in and cut right to the napkin. So I don't know if there is a glare. I'm assuming, because there is for me. Okay, and then you do not want to cut this edge because that napkin is going to be open and this side is going to be open. So I just want a top pocket right here. I also keep these. These are nice to put in journal. You can put stickers on them and use them as little dashboards. You can put Post-it notes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'll go over the papers that I have. Oh, this is the other thing I was going to do really quick. So I have 4 papers, 4 or 5 strips here. How many do I have? So 5 strips. This is just offcuts from cutting the paper, the 12 by 12 paper pad down to 8.5 by 11. So you have some offcuts. What I like to do is I like to cut these into 1.5 or 2 inch sections. So let's just make it easy and we'll cut it into 2 inch sections. And then I'll show you what I like to do with these. I think these were 3.5, which I'll use all of them. But I'll just, cutting them down to 2 inches is easy at the beginning. I think you end up with a 3.5 inch section by 11 or 3.5 by 11 inches. So then we have some strips. I'm going to go through and score these in half. And then we'll have all of our piles, and I'll go over the piles with you. You want to score in the direction that you're going to fold. So the pattern is face up. I'm scoring down. So these are 1.5 inch sections or strips, and so I'm going to cut score these at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so again, I'm scoring at 3/4 of an inch. The pattern is up. I'm scoring, pushing down, and so the fold is going to be towards the white. So you have white on this side, pattern paper on this side, and you're going to fold in, and then just burnish each one. And then there's one more process that we're going to do with these, so I'll speed up. Okay, so we have 1, 2, see, 4, 5 of the 2-inch and 5 of the 1.5. So I'm just going to stick those together. So going over the paper, we have some pattern paper, and I believe I have more than what I need, and I'm trying to make this beginner friendly, so you could take a paper pad from Michael's and duplicate this. There's also some atlas pages, which if you have a map, you can even print a map on like Google Maps. Just pull up any area and do I think it's the Windows on your keyboard. It's a Windows icon, and Windows Shift and S, I think, is the snippet tool. You can create a map on your computer, print that on 8.5 by 11 paper, and have the same exact type of image. And you can do it double-sided. So then I have 2 cards. I have 4 of the atlas, 4 of the envelopes, 4 sheets of music paper. I have 4 sheets of Braille paper. I have several sheets of the just plain cardstocks from Michael's, and here's some more printed paper. Then I have 4 stationery sheets. I think there's only 3 pieces of fabric, so I could cut this one down, and maybe I might do that. 4 pieces of grid. This is vintage grid paper. 4 papers of Western Encyclopedia. I have, I think, several clippings here from I think Better Homes and Gardens or Women's Day. And then there's some loom graph paper, some kids homework sheets, and then that was an extra. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 1 from each stack, and we're just going to fold in half. And then on this one, I want to pick, let's see, these are stapled. This is one of the things I look for when I go to estate sales or garage sales is magazines, like old magazines, or you can do like sewing, any kind of like craft hobby kind of magazine are really good. So get this staple out of here real quick. For for the pages in your signature, you want to have anywhere from, I would say, 10 to 20, whatever you feel comfortable working with. And then let's put that to the side. And let's see, is this stuck together? No, let's separate it. Okay. There, and then we have graph paper. Then we have, let's see, I really want to do this one. So I am going to cut this in half. For the fabrics, you can sew so the edges are not frayed. I like the look of frayed edges. In fact, I'm just going to make a snip here. This is about the halfway part. And tear. And this is the little guy I want with. That is just adorable. And then we have, I'll do that one. And then I'm going to pick out several of the pages for the pattern paper. We'll just do this. Do these 2. I have one braille paper, one music sheet, but these are folded in half. And let's see which, I thought I pulled out oh yeah, here's Little Pals on a Hike. Okay, and then let's do one envelope on the inside, and we'll do the card. Then we have an atlas. We'll do something that has a body of water for a picnic, and that is it. And then let's see, let's go ahead and do those two. Okay, so now we're just going to go through and we're going to fold all of the papers in half. So I like to use my scoreboard because it creates a nice little border for me to fold my pages in half. And you want to make sure that your pages are facing the upward position. I face all of my pattern paper in towards the center, and that way if you want to do a multi-page spread or you want to have pockets or whatever, you have that option. I'm going to fold this. You can turn your pages so that they fold like in your journal, they're sideways like this, or you can fold them or sew them in so that the pages are like this. The other side is going to be upside down if you do that. So it's really a preference. This I'm going to leave intact, and I want this on the outside. And so now I need to make a decision because I want it to go like this. And I could do that. Okay, so let's separate. This paper we'll find out if I can use or not. It's the older the paper, the more tendency it has to crack. So the other thing is making sure that you don't apply, like I wouldn't score this sheet, and I would go very gentle when I'm pushing it together or burnishing it with my finger. So far so good. Maybe it won't crack. That's good. That's that. I already have my braille paper folded. We won't worry about cutting things now. We're just gonna fold. This I will fold on the outside, and that kind of cracked. So hopefully that is okay. Then we have our fabric. We have those two items that don't need to be folded. If you can find the, I think it's like the dot, it's the bullet journal paper basically. So I'm going to fold this one in half, but I'm also going to use it this way. So here's another one. This was kind of wrinkled up in the folder where I got it. This could be a page in there, or we can cut it up as ephemera. So we'll fold it for a page right now and determine what we're going to do with it later. And then this is another one I like to fold up that I will probably use in the opposite direction, or so that it's face up. I like to have a lot of pockets in my journal too. Okay, so let's start assembling. You want to kind of alternate your pages. So we have, separate these all into cardstock. And this is math. We have 2 graphs, cards, kind of specialty, music, and actually we'll do specialty together. This is grid, and what's this one? I will do that together. I like to kind of look at the page that I want to be the first in my journal. When I'm opening it, it's going to be the first thing I see. And looking at this, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick the strawberries. No, I don't want the strawberries, because I want, when I open my journal, it's the daisy on the outside. And let's pick this on the inside with this. So this will be my start of my signature. Then we have a scrapbook paper. Oh, here's the other papers that I have. These. And then, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold these up too. Okay. So we have our card, and then we have a little task list. And let's make sure that that's there. And then we could do a little, let's see, this might be pretty to do the stationery here. So this first one's kind of going to be a little bit of a staggered look. And then on the inside, we're going to put, I like to alter the paper colors. So we'll do this right here. So we'll do our music sheet. And then we'll do white. And let's see, how about this? Put our piece of fabric. And it's also good to like alter where your papers are located in the journal, as far as top, middle, and then let's do this one. That would be a pretty contrast. And then we'll do another task notes. We have one there. We'll put another one here. And then we have that. We'll do another, we should do another colored item here. Let's do, we'll put this in. Yeah, like that. And then we have that, and then we'll do our map. And we'll do another one of these. I'm going to do this like these little ones like every other page. And then I'm going to stick that at the bottom so I can put some trim in there, and that'll hang out at the bottom. And then on this one, I've folded 2 with the holes facing this way, so I'll reverse that and put that there. And then let's see, what do we have? We'll do some more Braille. And let's go ahead and fold this one this way. There we go. And we'll do another graph. The stripe. Do another one of these. We'll face this one out. And then we have and this one. So I'm going to put another one of these in. Okay, so we have all of our pages in. I want to put another notepad here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of like look at what we have. I still have some more of those, and then I still have our the 2 napkins that we did. And now I'll go through and I'm going to add my 2 napkins, or I'm just going to add 1 napkin for right now. We'll put that over for the next signature. And so we have that, and I think I want this one to go next. And I'll pull that one out. So we'll go down there and there. So now we have these little strips of paper that we made. I'll go ahead and angle the corners right now. So what I do with those, and then I'm going to add this other little stationery bit back in. Let me do that right here. So we have a little tuck spot, or not tuck spot, we have a pocket here that we can put something in, and that is good to know that you're putting it in the right way. Okay, So we have a text spot here. Then we have a little note or like a list that we can make, and then it starts another little section, and then we open, and then I'll stick this here. So I like to put these throughout my signature as points that you can add flip outs to. So say I don't have anything right now that I want to put there, but I have like some kind of packaging from, you know, going out to dinner or whatever. Then if I have these flaps built into my signature, it makes it like a natural place to put things. So every so many pages, I will add another. So there's not a lot of dimension over here. So I'll put another one here. And then that will be what we have embedded into. Let's see, where's that other one at? Because I don't want them too close together. Let's put it down here more. I'll put it here. Okay. Then the other thing that we want to look at is the pages, the page sizes. So I like to line everything up to the top, and so I'm going to cut off or fold in anything that hangs out on the bottom. The scrapbook paper is our cutoff. So like this right here, anything past this point. Now this fabric will be put, I'll move this higher up on the paper so you don't see that. I do want this to hang over, so that's going to be fine there. The Braille page, I want to fold up for a pocket. So we'll open that. I'll pull these to the side, and then I'll flip that up. And leave that right about here. Okay, and then we'll put these back in. So again, we look, size it down to the top, make sure everything is level there. You can use clips if you need to, just because it can be somewhat, you know, fiddly. And put that about there. And then again, I want, this is the only page that should be hanging past the scrapbook paper. Okay, so we have that, and then let's see how it looks in here. And I'm glad that I only, I'm probably gonna fit 2 in here. So we'll try to close this up, and it's not closing, so I need to fold some pages in. And it looks like anything past this pink one is going to get folded in or cut off. But I do like to fold them in versus cutting them off, because again, it's always another little tuck spot. And you're not gluing anything down, you're just kind of folding in, and then that gives you a place to evaluate later. So here's our fabric. I'm not worried about the fabric, that can hang over. You just don't want anything that's gonna get smushed by the note or by the cover. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we have the red, and that does extend out. So we'll fold that in. Maybe I'll do a bigger pocket there. You can also fold the pockets or fold the paper in so that the pattern shows against the white. These are kind of close to each other. And again, we'll just do that, and then we'll fold this one this way. This is the brow. We'll see how that looks. Okay, and now we'll test it out again. And it all fits. And since the video is a little bit longer than I wanted, we're going to go ahead and stop here. In the next video, we'll bind the signatures to the inside of the cover. That is a nice chunky little monkey. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will see you tomorrow with another episode of 10 Minute Makes, and I hope you have a magnificent day. Until then, bye-bye.